How are you doing tonight? Good? Yeah, right on. That's awesome. My name's Hutterer. I'm 25 years old. I'm born and raised in Alliston, Ontario. I'm proud to call this place my home. In 2011, I graduated from Banting High School, and gotta tell you, it looks pretty much the same. No, true, but. So, what that was just happening, in June 11th, I did this race called the Spartan Death Race. And it was probably the most difficult race I ever did in my life. But I'll get back to it. So I just want to explain to people that I understand how it feels like being in high school. I understand how it feels like trying to feel popular or try to fit in and try to be something that you're not. And I just want to let you know that no matter what anyone says or any of the negative things in your life, don't listen to them. Be yourself and be proud of who you are. No matter what complications come in your life, just know that you're special. And if you have a dream, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Follow your dream, follow your heart. Because in this world, there's people that are negative and they'll try to bring you down no matter what. They'll tell you you're stupid, or you're crazy, or just make you feel low, and feel like you're this tall. But in reality of things, you're special, and I gotta tell you, if you have a dream, don't let anyone ever crush that and take it away from you. So when I started doing this stuff, like trying to fit in, or try to feel like I belong, I decided to get myself into sports. I tried playing football. I loved it. And I pursued that. But over time, over the tackling and all the hitting and all the pounding, it wears on your body. Sometimes I would wake up and I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't move my body. I couldn't drive anywhere. Basically, I'd get in my car and I had people to drive me to places. I tried to follow different pursuits, but you know what? It was hard to find that happiness, that thing that made me feel complete. And I gotta tell you, when you're young, it's very difficult because in social media and stuff like that, they'll tell you you gotta look a certain way, you gotta feel a certain way. And I gotta let you know, don't listen to that. Find that happiness, find that joy, find something that's crazy. But if that makes you happy, pursue that. So one time, my friend, he invited me to do this race. And he asked me, are you interested in doing this 5-kilometer race? Thinking, okay, it's just 5 kilometers, just running on flat ground. He goes, no. It's up and down a mountain. Okay, or what else does it happen? He goes, well, you gotta go over a 12-foot wall, you gotta go up a mountain, you gotta go through barbed wire, you have to jump over fire, you gotta do all these crazy things. And I'm just like, yeah, sure, why not? Just give it a go. So, I'm there, not knowing what to prepare for. I wore the crappiest running shoes you could possibly imagine. And I did it. I went through mud, I went through the blistering heat, and I felt like I got beat up left, right, and center. But by the end of it, I felt like I was on top of the world. I felt like I had something special in that moment. Like, honestly, it was the best feeling in the world. And I never wanted to lose that feeling. So later on, I was looking for the next race. I wanted to find something that made me feel that joy again. So I found out about this 10-kilometer race, and I started asking people around, hey, do you want to do this race with me? Do you want? And I kept saying, no. But then I figured, you know what? I wanted this to be my moment. I want this to make me happy. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do this race by myself. And I'm getting my vehicle, and my mom, she was standing there, and she said, do you mind if I take along? So I was like, yeah, no problem, Mom. So I drive to Collingwood, I'm doing this 10-kilometer race, and I just remember it was pouring rain like you wouldn't believe. And my mom said, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, well, I'll wait for you. And I'm like, okay, Mom. So I get at the starting line, I start running, I'm running through mud up to my knees, I'm going up ski hills, and I just remember the mud coming down, and you're grabbing onto trees, trying to hold yourself and pull yourself up this mountain, and going through all these different obstacles. And it kind of ends up being like life. There's obstacles always in your way. There's always these bumps and roads, but once you finish, you know it's going to feel great. So after the pouring rain and coming down that mountain to the finish line, I was standing there feeling on top of the world. And I looked across and I saw my mom standing there. in the pouring rain. And I thought, you know what, I just went through 2 hours of that, and my mom stood there with a smile on her face seeing that I finished. You know what, I went up to a person and asked, would you mind if I could grab an extra medal for my mom? And she said, yeah, no problem. So ever since that day, every race that I've ever done or ever will, I always grab an extra medal just for my mom because she was my biggest fan. Right? I love Mom. So from a 5-kilometer race turned into a 10-kilometer race, from a 10-kilometer race turned into a 15, from a 15 turned to a 20, 25, 30, 35, from a 12-hour race to a 24, and then beyond that. And I always wanted to pursue doing harder and tougher races. Last year I did over 40 races because it made me feel great inside, and I felt like I was doing something special. So this year I found out about this one specific race called the Spartan Death Race. And it was supposedly going to be the toughest race in the world. So I thought, you know what, why don't I do this? This is going to be my pinnacle moment. This is going to be showing how hard it was, my training, my everything I put into if I'm able to do this race. So throughout it all, you had to have special qualifications. You had to be doing a certain race or a certain thing. And luckily enough, I got in. And that was a special moment for me, just to even be doing that race. So the race entailed that you have no clue whatsoever what you're going to be doing. You don't know when it begins, you don't know when it ends. So I started at 10 p.m. at night, and from then on out, I was doing the most difficult challenges as working as a boot camp. I had to carry 60-pound bags for 42 kilometers. I would have to go up and down ski hills, not stop. And at some points, they would make you push boulders that weighed 2,000 pounds on little rods and sticks. And they would make you swim for hours and try to break you and feel negative and try to push you down and make you feel like I gotta quit. Because in all honesty, the easiest thing to do in this world is just say, you know what, I'm done. Instead, you gotta pursue that and keep pushing yourself and keep moving. Because in all honesty, if you're going through so much, just keep going because there will be a good thing happening at the end of it. I promise you that. So, during the last part of the challenge, it was the second night, we had to do 3,000 burpees from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I don't know if anyone knows what a burpee is, but it sucks, doesn't it? It's garbage! I gotta tell you, it's honestly the worst feeling when you ever do just 20 burpees to 30, then all of a sudden you're told that you gotta do that, and it's like, huh, well, that sucks. Here, let's do it, right? So by the end of it, everyone's broken from, and I gotta tell you, these athletes that I was racing with were Navy SEALs, soldiers, police officers, cops, top athletes from all over the world. And I gotta tell you, there was only 25 of us at this last little point where we're 30 hours in. And at the bottom of the mountain, they asked us, what 10 of you are interested in doing a Guinness Book World Record? And we're like, what do we have to do? And all of a sudden he's like, well, you gotta crawl under barbed wire for 12 hours. So people are like, yeah, screw that, I don't want doing that, that's stupid. And we're doing a stupid race, but that's even beyond stupid. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. That'll be freaking sweet, yeah. Because I see it as an opportunity. Like, opportunities like that never come along often, right? I got a chance to go for a Guinness Book Record. And I had no idea that I was going to finish it and get it done. So I feel proud to get it and feel great about it. So through the whole challenge, I'm crawling under barbed wire and getting cut, broken, and they see that you only have this high off the ground, pretty much, of crawling. And I'm not the smallest guy in the room. I'm 6'1" and 200 pounds, so they had people that weighed maybe 150 pounds just crawling through no problem, expecting them to win. And I had people saying, he's got no chance, he's got no opportunity, he's got that. And throughout my whole life, I had that growing up, saying that I was no good, that I was worthless, that I was useless, and I will never come up to be who I am. And I never wanted that to define me. I wanted to prove people wrong that I am something special, that I want to be something great. So through this challenge, I crawled under the barbed wire, crawled, going, and throughout that, I met this girl, Layla, who stuck by my side the whole 12 hours. And that made me realize you have to stick around people that make you happy, that are positive in your life. Don't stick around the people that are negative and try to push you down. Because you know what, in this life, it's the people that are positive that make your life different. And they make you feel good. And you know what? You need that in your life. So throughout the whole challenge, I kept going. And Layla stuck by my side. Then all of a sudden, a group of other people stuck by my side. And all of a sudden, those 2, 3, 4 people stuck up to 10 people that kept pushing me and kept going and saying that don't quit, don't let this break you down, don't let this stop you. So throughout the whole 12 hours, they said that the world record was 26 laps. And at the end of it, I finished off with 31 laps. Because I wanted to make that my record, right? So after I was done this challenge, I stood up and they handed me a plaque and they said, "What are you going to do with that plaque?" And I said, "I'm going to put that on the fridge." I was so out of it, I had no clue where I was. I honestly thought I was on a football field. That's how heat stroke I had. I had no skin on my legs. My back looked like it got a cheese grater to it, and my stomach was completely ripped open from the whole problems of all rubbing through dirt, rocks, and everything you can imagine for 12 hours straight. But by the end of it, we still had a race to do, and what he wanted us to do was crawl around the barbed wire one more time, give it everything you got, and pop a balloon. First 12 to pop a balloon continues on to do this race. Whoever doesn't, you're done. So by that chance, I get on the ground, I have no clue where I am, and they're telling me, just go, just move. And so I finished off. I was the third person to pop a balloon, and I kept moving on, and I finished the race after being up for 60 hours through blood, sweat, and tears, baby. So it was a good feeling to finish up on top and getting that race done. So now, thank you. So what I want to come across is, if anyone ever tells you you can't, and says that you can't do that and you won't be able to accomplish something, just look at them and say, "I can." Surround yourself around positive people that make you feel good. Find the joy in your life. Find the thing that makes you happy and pursue that and believe in that. Okay? So, I want to thank everyone here for letting me stand here today to talk. Again, you guys did a beautiful job, beautiful speeches, and it was hard to stand up behind Scott. My God, that was amazing, dude. That was so cool. I'm like, oh, I got a world record. I'm pulling through barbed wire, and I see this guy doing explosives, flying through the air. That's unbelievable, man. So I gotta say thank you for the opportunity standing up here and talking to you today, and I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you.